Hi guys. So I thought I would share a Pilates class with you guys. I know that the times are really stressful right now and moving our bodies is going to just make us feel better. So let's get a little bit of Pilates going on. So we're going to use a block or a pillow, and we're going to go ahead and start by lying down on your back. I'll have the block handy. We'll use it in a moment. Pull the abdominals in and press the low back into the floor, and then we'll arch the back. And the low back presses into the floor, and low back arches, low back presses, and low back arches. And let's press the low back into the floor and keep it there. We'll lengthen the legs up toward the ceiling. And if your hamstrings are a little tighter, then you're going to stay parallel with the legs and bend the knees. Right? If you're flexible and it's easy to lengthen legs up toward the ceiling, then you're going to keep them straight up, and we'll laterally rotate the thigh bones from the hip sockets. You're going to keep pulling the belly in and pressing the low back into the floor, and we're going to come into our upper body alignment. So we're going to nod the head to curl the head, neck, and shoulder blades up off of the floor. You're going to use your arm strength to pull a little bit to bring your shoulder blades, the flat parts of your shoulder blades, towards your thighs even a little more. All right? And then we're going to go ahead and from here, reach the arms along and start to pump the arms. And inhale for 5 counts, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you can keep your low back pressing into the floor, then you can lower your legs away from you on an angle. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in. If your neck gets tired, then use that block underneath your head like a pillow. Right? Inhale, 2. If you can do without, then it's going to be a little more work for those abs. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2. We'll do 5 more sets. Right, we're going to add a little variation. We're going to flex the feet and go knees to shoulders, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3. Inner thigh squeeze and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2. We're going to do one more set. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and pause and release and rest. And so we had our low back pressing into the floor really specifically on that one. We're going to go ahead and from here move on, and we're going to find more of a neutral alignment in the pelvis. So if your pelvis, we're going to move it a little bit. So press the low back into the floor, and then we arch the low back, and low back presses, and low back arches. And to find our neutral, we make that rocking the pelvis smaller and smaller and find roughly the middle. If we put our hands on our hips, our fingertips find our hip points, our ASIS, anterior superior iliac spine. Right? So when we find our hip points, we'll call it that to make it easier, and our hip points and our pubic bone are in the same plane, right? Flat, level to the floor. That's our goal here, right? So if I lift my head and look to see if I'm in a tuck, that's oftentimes the case. So the pubic bone will be higher. So I want to drop the pubic bone and the tailbone toward the floor a little bit more. So there's a little space between the low back and the floor. Okay. So once you're there, let's relax the back muscles. Make sure they're feeling okay. All right. So not gripping. If they are gripping, we have to let go of the alignment a little bit. Okay. So work where your back is not gripping, but we work our way in the direction, like usually if we're in a tuck, it's a little bit this direction. If we're too far, that's usually not the case in the other direction, but we're going to find roughly the middle. So we usually have to work a little bit, like if there was a wheel on either side of the pelvis, pelvic wheels into forward motion, right? So to get the hip points and the pubic bone in the same plane. Again, back relaxed. Now we're going to connect 3 deep core muscles, right? We're going to think of this diamond shape. The muscles between the sitting bones, the pubic bone, and the tailbone, right at the base of the torso, pulling in and up towards your head. So you're going to engage the pelvic floor muscles first, and then the next thing we do is our transverse abdominals, our skinny middle, right? So imagine you're wearing a weight belt and you're tightening that with your own muscles. Let's lengthen the spine from here as well, so we get tall. Imagine I had my hand on the top of your head and you're trying to push into it. Okay, so pelvic floor, like a Kegel exercise, skinny middle and long spine. I like to call that our Pilates body, right? So we can feel actively energized like a superhero in our torso, okay? So Pilates body active, roughly neutral, your back's not gripping, okay? But we're no longer pressing our low back into the floor like we did for the 100. So work that Pilates body, and we're gonna go into a long series on one side, and then we'll repeat it on the second side. So bear with me as we do the first side. Don't worry, we're going to get to the second side in a little bit. So right leg up, laterally rotate the thigh bone from the hip sockets, ready for leg circles. We cross the midline, we go circle, and then we pause at the top. We're trying to keep those hip points steady, no rocking side to side, right? Steady, because we're working that stability through the torso. We go circle and pause, and circle and pause. Two more, circle and one more, and circle. Now reverse direction to your right. Circle and pause, and circle and pause. Again, circle and pause, and circle and pause, and circle one more, and a circle. Now parallel leg, flex the foot for Batman. Lengthen that right leg all the way down. And here we go. Point it up, flex it down, point it up, flex it down, and point, flex it down, point it up. Four more times we go. Four. Now in this one, you're keeping the pelvis steady again, no movement, so no pelvic rocks. Let's hug that right thigh into the chest, lengthen the left leg long. You're gonna pull in tight. Let your shoulder blades just settle into the floor, and as you pull in tight there, we're just checking the range of motion at the hip, all right? We're gonna go ahead and move our hands now behind the hamstrings. We're gonna let the shin bone do a little bounce at the bottom, and then extend the leg, but don't let the thigh move away from the chest, so keep that in tight. Again, release the leg, and soft extend. And just notice I have my foot just trying to be really floppy and relaxed. Just relax that foot. Just really no shape right there at all. No point, no flex, no nothing. I know that's hard to do. We're just gonna relax that. Now release out of it a little bit. Flex the top leg foot. Press the sole of the foot straight up to the ceiling. Squeeze your knee all the way straight. Belly firm with the bottom foot inch off the floor. Let's find our upper body alignment. So we nod the head once to curl the head, neck, and shoulder blades up off of the floor, keeping a fist distance of space between the chin and the chest. So keeping that chin space, pulling to reach the flat parts of your shoulder blades towards your thighs. Inhale here. Exhale, deflate the abs. See them move down. Send the action from the abs through the legs, roll through the feet, heel, ball, toe to pointed toes. Energize your legs stronger, straighter, and further into your stretch. It's our big stretch. And then let's gently release. Now from here, we're going to do simple sit-up. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start by pulling the abdominals in, lift the arms an inch off the floor. We actively pull in as we curl up. So two different muscles working there. The pulling in muscle, transverse abdominals, that's our skinny middle muscle, right? And our 8-pack muscle, the rectus abdominis, which does the curling up action. So we're pulling in as we curl up. So that's the whole goal for this one, curling up and 2, pulling in the whole time, 3 and 4, coming down, actively pulling in even as you come down. And again, nod and curl, coming up, and 2 and 3 and 4, coming down. Let's do 2 more like that. Nod and curl, and 2 and 3 and 4, coming down. 2, one more time. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, coming down. 2, 3. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and from here, get ready for tree pose. Okay, so we're going to lengthen the right leg up, left leg long. Hold on to your right leg with both hands. We nod and curl, and we walk ourselves hand over hand up the leg to seated. So we come up 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then work the lift of the low back at the top. Try to lengthen that leg, and then belly pulls away from your thighs as you come down. And 2 and 3. Again, nod and curl, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Work the lift, and then come down 4 and 3 and 2. Let's do 1 more of those. Here we go. Nod and curl. All of our technique comes together here. We work the lift at the top, and then belly pulls in as you come down. And 2 and 3 and 4. And that's our whole series on one side. We're going to get ready to do the same series on the second side. So every exercise has a purpose, right? It has a reason. So we do pelvic rocks first, low back presses and arches, right? So the purpose for this one is to find our neutral alignment in the pelvis. Make the rocking smaller and smaller, right? Find roughly the middle, hip points and pubic bone in the same plane. You can lift your head to lift. If you see you're in a tuck, drop the pubic bone and tailbone down. Relax your back muscles. Make sure you're not in a grip here. And then we do our 3 deep core, pelvic floor 1, skinny middle 2, and long spine 3. Now we do left leg up, laterally rotate the thigh bone from the hip socket, crossing midline for leg circles. We go circle and pause, and circle and pause. Again, circle and pause, and circle and pause. 2 more, circle and 1 more, and circle. Reverse direction to your left, circle and pause. So steady pelvis here, no rocking side to side on this one, right? And when we do the next one, we don't want pelvic rocks, okay? So we flex the foot, bottom on out, 8 times. We go point it up, flex it down. So you really have to fix the pelvis in place, right? Fix it in place. Use those deep core muscles. We have 4 left to go. Breathe in. 2 more. 1 more. Now hug that thigh into the chest. Lengthen the bottom leg long. You're going to go ahead and let the shoulder blades settle into the floor. And we're just give it a good hug in there and then move the hands and relaxing that foot. We go release the leg and soft extend. Good. So I studied with Jennifer Muller Company for years, and they had this dance piece called Tub, where the whole thing was they had a tub on stage, and it was a lot of, it was filled with water, and you just, the way it evolved was like amazing and beautiful. But in Tub, they actually did this sort of floppy foot relax thing, and in dance, it's kind of rare to see it, right? So this is reminding me of Tub right now. So shout out to Jennifer Muller Company and your inspiration, and Tub, which is a beautiful piece. You can check it out. Now let's release out of it. Let's flex the foot, send that leg straight up. So now we're working to squeeze the knee all the way straight, right? So the goal here is really to straighten the leg, right? So that your lower quads work, right? So you're finding your full range of motion. Ideally, the leg straight up toward the ceiling at a 90-degree angle, right? So really perpendicular to the floor. That's full range of motion for your hamstring length, right? So that your back can kind of not have to overwork, okay? So if you're somewhere out here, then you're going to use a strap. You're going to kind of go into some more hamstring stretching and get to this goal. If you're more flexible, right, if you can kind of go further, then you want to make sure you have enough strength, right, to support that range of motion that you have that's even more than full range of motion, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and pull the belly in, come into our upper body alignment, lift the bottom foot again. Inhale here, exhale, deflate the abs again. Send the action from the abs like water through a fire hose, through the legs, through the feet, heel ball, toe to point the toes. Now we're going to go into a flex, and we're going to do little pulses into the flex and flex both feet and flex and flex and flex and flex. 8 more. We have 8. So we're countering this pointing our feet all the time. 3 and 2 and 1. Then we do one more point and then come on back down. So that's our big stretch. Now simple sit up again. We're going to do feet together, knees together. Move your feet a little further away from you, hands to cradle the head. Let's find our upper body alignment in 4 counts again. Belly pulling in, nod and curl, coming up 1 and 2. Keep pulling in. Remember, the goal is to pull in as you curl up. Now reach the arms long, hold onto the thighs. Pull with your arm strength. So you're going to come up a little bit higher, not too much. Now pull the belly in and reach your hands back to cradle your head. You should feel a little more load here. It should be a little more challenging. Now actually keep pulling those abs in as you come back down. And we do it again. Here we go. Nod and curl. Come up 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Reach, hold on, and pull. Keep pulling in. Reach the hands back to cradle the head. Keep pulling in as you come down. And 2, and we do it again. Nod and curl. Belly pulling in the whole time. Reach, hold on, and pull. Keep pulling in. Reach the hands back. Keep pulling in as you come down. I like to say as you're curling up, pretend like you're blowing a feather off your belly button. That's the breath coordination. So blow a feather off your belly button. Reach, hold on, and pull. Keep pulling in and reach the hands back and come back down. Now, if you need more challenge on that one, notice I have my feet a little further away from my seat. That makes it a little more stable. If you need more challenge on that one, you can bring your feet closer into your tush, and that will make it a lot more challenging. So feel free to do that one as well. Okay, now we've done our simple sit-up. We're ready for tree on the second side. So lengthen and energize, and let's nod and curl and come up 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Work the lift of the low back. Belly pulls away from your thighs, coming down, and 2, and we do it again. Here we go. Nod and curl. 2, 3, 4. Work the lift. Belly pulls in as you come down. 2, 3, and we do it again. Here we go. Last time like this. Work the lift. Belly pulls in, and 2, and 3. And 4. I'm going to go ahead and from here, bring the feet on the floor, arms alongside the body. Take a full breath in. Take a full breath out. And again, full breath in. And full breath out. Okay, good. We're going to go ahead and tuck the knees into the chest. And just start to rock forward and backward one length of the back. And bring ourselves up to seated. All right, so we'll do rolling like a ball next. Hands to ankles, navel to spine, and nose to knee. So you're going to round out the back as much as you can. belly pulling in. Try to stay in as tight a ball shape as you can possibly stay in, okay? Here we go. We'll do 6 times. Inhale back. Exhale, come up and balance. And again, inhale back. Exhale, come up and balance. And inhale back. Exhale, up and balance. Again, inhale back. Exhale, up and balance. Let's do 2 more times. Here we go. And balance. And 1 more time. And balance. Good. Now we're going to touch the toes down a little further away from you. Hands to the hamstrings. Long spine, open chest. Squeeze your right knee straight, straight, straight. And come back down. Keep your low back lifted as you squeeze your knee straight. If your hamstrings are tight, it's going to be hard. You'll want to round, but don't allow the rounding to happen. And straight. Good. Keeping long through the spine. Keep your Pilates body active, energized body working there. All right, now feel free to continue just like that, right? So that's focusing on the lower quad strength. I like to think of this little series right here as kind of building up to teasers. So all of the elements that you need ultimately for teaser, low quad strength, the lift of the low back, hip flexor strength, we layer those in, right? So you can go as far on this one as feels comfortable and you're still working your way toward teaser. Okay, so next one, you bring your shin bones parallel to the floor. You can stay here and hold on, or a little more challenge. Again, we layer the challenge. You can reach one hand or maybe both hands towards your feet. Either stay here or lift the shin bones up and parallel. See, we layer in the challenge. And up and parallel, up and stay. All right, and then reach the arms down and back and up and forward. And down and back and up and forward. 2 more times like that, right? Working to stay in that balance, stay long, and that is it. Feet together, knees apart, hands to ankles. Lift long through the spine, reach your belly button forward. Either stay long in the spine here or let the body release over the legs. Take a big breath in. Take a big breath out. And a big breath in. And a big breath out. Okay, from here, we're going to squeeze the gluteal muscles, right? So as you do that, as you squeeze your tush, you're going to see your knees move toward the floor like a butterfly opening its wings. So squeeze and hold, 2, 3, 4, and release. Again, squeeze and hold, 2, 3, 4, and release. Let's do 2 more times. Squeeze and hold, 2, 3, 4, and release. And 1 more. Squeeze and hold, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to uncurl from the inside out. So engage your pelvic floor first. Start to lift long through the spine. So skinny middle necks, transverse abdominals working, and then lengthen through the spine. Okay, we're going to use that as our transition as we go into spine stretch. Okay, so if you know when you are lying on your back, your leg can be straight up toward the ceiling, then you have full range of motion for your hamstrings so that when you sit up, you should be able to have your low back lifted. Okay, if that's not the case, if your hamstrings are a little tighter, then I want you to bend the knees. Okay, either way, I want you to keep the low back lifted. If you are able to straighten your legs and your low back can stay lifted, I want you to press through your heels and squeeze the legs together, okay? Let's do hands to cradle the head. We inhale here, exhale, C-curve. Pull the belly away from your toes. Your shoulders stay over your hips. Inhale here, like you're diving over a beach ball. Dive the top of your head toward your knees, but you don't want to touch the beach ball, so you're going to keep pulling your belly in, right? So you dive the top of your head toward your knees and get a good spine stretch. And then we uncurl from the inside out. Pelvic floor engages. Lift the low back. There's your skinny middle and long spine with the shoulders staying relaxed. Inhale again. Exhale, C-curve. Inhale here. Exhale, dive it over. And we do pelvic floor, lift the low back, skinny middle, and long spine. And again, inhale here. Exhale, C-curve. Inhale here. Exhale, dive it. And pelvic floor, lift the low back, skinny middle, and long spine. Now we're going to slowly roll down, pulling the belly away from the toes. Really work with control here. Slowly, slowly, slowly coming down. And finish with your arms long behind you. Let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, nod and curl. Come back up. Visualize your 8-pack muscle. Every segment curling up one by one. Let the body release over the legs. Let's sit up. And we'll do it again, pulling the belly away from the toes, slowly, slowly. Once you get about 2/3 of the way down, about here, that's usually the hardest part, to go slowly on the way down, right? But you're just going to give it your best and just try to go slow. If you need to, you can hold on to your thighs on the way down for a little bit of help. So I'll show that now. All right, so I'm going to curl down. Right? If you start to want to do what I call the quick drop, right? Instead, I want you to hold on and go slow, 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 slow. So let me tell you about the quick drop. So the quick drop shows you where there's a little bit of a lack of strength along the chain, right? So think of those segments, right, of the rectus abdominis. So there's a little bit of weakness showing there, right? So what happens if you're doing the quick drop, likely on the way up, you're doing what I call the alley-oop, right? So when you come up, you're like, you don't feel like you can move. So you have to do like, alley-oop, right, to get over that little last range of motion, right? That's where the strength is lacking, right? So if you're doing the alley-oop, right, and the quick drop, they go hand in hand. So the way to get around that is to work for your strength on the way down. So go slowly on the way down. Don't worry about the way up. Get up any old way, right? As long as you're feeling, okay, like comfortable and no discomfort. But definitely you're going to gain more work on the way down, right? It's called the eccentric contraction because you're fighting against gravity as well. So if you need to hold on, but just go slowly, 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 as slowly as you can. Okay, so that's our rolling down slowly. Now we're going to take our block underneath our head like our pillow, and we're going to do the Pilates 5. So we come into tight ball shape, hands to ankles, navel to spine, nose to knees, left leg in, right leg long and away from you. Now on these ones, your low back is pressing into the floor. Now let's exhale and switch and hold. Now 16, here we go. And switch, and switch, and switch, and switch, and 8 more we have. 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Come down and take a big breath in. And then exhale, come right away back into tight ball shape. Now double leg extension. I'm going to do the first 2 times with just the arms. Belly pulling in strongly as you reach your arms by your ears. And then exhale, circle the arms, hands to your ankles. And again, belly pulls in strongly. And exhale, circle the close. Now adding the legs, you want to make sure your low back stays pressing to the floor. We reach for the angle, right, and circle the close. Now, if your low back is not able to stay pressing into the floor here, then legs toward the ceiling is going to be milder, right? And you can work to press that low back into the floor and then gradually work your way out to that angle, slowly, slowly over time. Let's do 2 more like this. Circle the close, and 1 more. And come down, big breath in. And big breath out. Okay, now hands just barely under the edge of your seat. Now, if your low back lifted at all on the last one, now's your chance to redeem yourself. You're going to press your low back into the floor, legs up, relaxed, and laterally rotated. Heels touching, right? So this is another tub moment, right? So, right, floppy, relaxed legs, belly pulling in, and then you're going to lower down just a little bit, and then lift back up. And your goal right now is to keep your low back pressing into the floor. Imagine you had like a seat belt on that was like really fixing this part of your low back to the floor. And you're trying to relax those legs. Feel like your main focus is that pulling in from the front to press the low back into the floor. Let's do 2 more like that. This is a variation on lower lift. Now we'll do classic lower lift. Legs up, laterally rotated, hands to cradle the head. Inhale here. Exhale, deflate the abs. Right. Inhale as you lift. Exhale, deflate the abs. Inhale, think of breathing into the back of your lungs. Right. Inhale. Exhale, deflate. So inhaling, so you stay buoyant in the upper body. Let's do 2 more like that. Inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale and pause. So that's classic lower lift. Okay, let's do scissors next. Tight ball shape, right leg up, hold on to it. Left leg long, energize your legs. Let's do double pulse and switch, pulse, switch, and we have 8 and a 7 and a 6 and a 5 and a 4 and a 3 and a 2 and a 1, and pause and rest. Big breath in and big breath out. So that's scissors. And next we'll do crisscross. Let's go tight ball shape. Left leg in, right leg long and away from you. This time hands come back to cradle the head and right elbow crosses towards your left knee. Let's exhale, switch and hold. Now 16, switch and switch. Low back pressing into the floor. And 8 more we have. 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2, and 1, and pause and rest. That's crisscross. Okay, so now let's take our block away. Let's make our way up and over onto our abdomen. So we'll do a little bit of backward bending. We'll start by stacking your hands. Rest your forehead in the back of your hands. As you inhale, let the belly release into the floor. So let it expand into the floor. And then exhale, imagine that weight belt, you're tightening that weight belt again. Inhale, belly expands. And exhale, engage your transverse abdominals. Now keep those transverse abdominals engaged. Come up onto your forearms, interlace your fingers, lengthen the spine. Lift your belly button 2 inches up off the floor. And then we do right heel double pulse into the buttocks. We go in, and down. Now left in, and down. We go point, flex, down. And point, flex, down. And down. And down again. Down. And down. One more each side. That's it, guys. Good. Now come down. Turn your head to one side. Bring your hands to the small of the back. Hold on to 2 fingers in one hand and let the elbows, hold on 2 fingers in one hand with the other hand and let the elbows fall toward the floor. Belly firm, hips pressing. So your hips are pressing into the floor. So you're not going to shorten your low back. You're going to keep nice and long right here. Right, so pressing those hips and belly firm, low back stays long. Both heels double pulse. Coming in, and down. And in, and down. 2 more, and in, and down. 1 more, in. Now legs stay down, center the head. Let's come into squeeze the elbows as you lift up. Come up a little higher. Now turn your head to the other side as you come down, and we do the other side. Okay, here we go. And in, and down. And in, and down. 2 more, and in, and down. 1 more. Legs stay down, center the head. Come into your backward bend. Make sure you're not looking forward. You're going to look down about a foot in front of you on the floor so our neck stays nice and long. As you inhale, come up a little higher. Now separate the hands, palms face the floor. Lift the legs. You're going to start to swim the legs. If you want a little more challenge, you go arms out to the sides. If you want the most challenge, you go arms forward and start to swim the arms as well. Breathing here. Let's do 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 and rest. Let's take a big breath in, big breath out, bend the knees, windshield wiper the legs from side to side so we get a mild rotation in the spine before we go into child's pose. So easy to want to pop right away into child's pose. I like to do a little neutralizing of the spine before we do that. We just did sort of our backward bending. And now as we come into child's pose, it's a forward fold. So it's nice to do a twist in between those. So child's pose, you can make a tower of fists and rest your forehead on your fist, and that will put more weight into the back body. So let your tush come towards your heels more, which is what we want for more stretch. A big breath in right here. Big breath out. One more big breath in. And big breath. Okay, let's do just a little more here. We're going to interlace our fingers, bring your forearms onto the floor, and we're going to come into this place where our nose is over our thumbs, belly firm. Step one foot back under the ball of the foot. Have the other foot join it, and bring your hips in line with your shoulders roughly. And we're going to hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Bring one knee at a time down. Let's get ready for the second side. You're going to bring the other foot back first. And then hips in line with the shoulders roughly. And one leg lifts up and down. Same side, 3 and down. 2 more and down. And one other side, we lift 4 and a 3 and a 2 and a 1. And then again back into child's pose. Let's do arms long this time. Big breath in, big breath out. And walk the arms over to the side, about 1.5 feet. Plant the, so I'm moving over to my right. So I'm going to plant my left palm, and I'm going to sink into the curve that's happening in the left side of my body right now. Right, so it's a nice stretch for the lats here. Big breath in, and big breath out. One more breath here. Let's exhale. Let's come back through center. And now we're going to move over to the left. I'm going to plant my right palm and sink into the curve that's happening in the right side of the body. Stretching the lats. Big breath in. Big breath out. Again, big breath in. And big breath out. Okay. All right. So let's take a moment. We're going to sit on the block. Maybe I'm going to put it on the middle level. If you can sit whatever way feels comfortable. You can, if it's comfortable to sit back onto your block. If your knees feel okay, then that's fine. If not, sit whatever way feels comfortable. And let's just do ear to shoulder and center, and ear to shoulder and center. Lengthen the breath and center and side and center. Now we're going to drop the chin down and then forward and lengthen up. And forward and chin down, and forward, and up. Now we'll go into a little stretch, ear to shoulder, arm long, hand to head, big breath in, big breath out, and big breath in, big breath out, and again big breath in, and big breath out. So the same thing, second side, ear to shoulder, and you just lengthen the arm long. You're not really pulling here, you're just kind of guiding a little bit, like big breath in, big breath out. Really feel where the breath goes to. Make it a long, long breath. It's really helpful for de-stressing, just nice, long breaths. Let's do 2 more long deep breaths right here. One more time, here we go. I think maybe we're going to wrap up our Pilates session for today with that. And so I hope that you guys got to move your bodies, and just that is going to be so helpful for releasing any stress and strain, and we can kind of just stay in the moment and stay as healthy and positive as we can. All right. Hope you guys have a great day. Mwah.